Mike, I appreciate you having me out here today. Definitely some of our viewers are interested in the typical life of a real estate agent. So to get things started off with, what is one thing you do every day?
I don't know, brush my teeth. The one thing that I do every day is I call my mom. I know, as crazy as that sounds, and I'll tell you the story of how this happened. Going back about 8 years ago, I was driving home from work, and I would normally check in on my mom here and there. And she must have been having a bad day and said, "You don't call me enough." So I've made it a point in my entire life that every day I call her. And if she doesn't pick up, I make sure I let her know. My greatest accomplishment. I think that's a pretty easy one. I think being married for over 25 years now and raising 3 great kids, I think if there's anything that I can attribute as an accomplishment, that's it. That's it. My favorite movie, and we should edit this out, by the way. My favorite movie, of all time, was Police Squad: The Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen. If you haven't seen it, it's absolutely hilarious, and it dates back to my college days, and we used to watch it every night in the dorm, and it never got old for me. It never got old for me.
Yeah,
Well, I say that everybody has a different path in life, and I started in real estate in 2004, and here's the story. So at the time, I was working nights at Camden Prosecutor's Office, and I was doing shooting investigations in Camden. And we came across a body that had been dumped in a neighborhood in the east side of Camden. And I remember looking around going, wow, if this is quiet enough to dump somebody, this may be worthwhile to invest in real estate, as crazy as that sounds. So knocking on doors, seeing if anybody heard anything, and I came across an abandoned house. And it was a row home, 2-story brick. And I tracked the guy all the way down to Florida. I said, listen, I'll give you $10,000 cash, pay off your liens, if you'll sell me the house. Just like that, I was involved in real estate. My passion for it just came and grew as I got older and older. And from that property there, I just learned so much on how to be a landlord and just the responsibility of it. And mind you, this is when I was in my early to mid 20s, and I was a terrible landlord, but I could find properties and get great deals. But I think as you get older and more mature, that you learn a lot from that. And I take them experiences now and I share them with others. Why do I go by Michael and not Mike? Interesting story. So when I was making the transition to being a realtor, I was interviewing with people where I was going to work. And sure enough, one of the guys steals my domain name of MikeSutley.com. So I changed it to Michael. I know who did it. If I could be any animal in the world, that's an interesting question. I would have to say my dog. Man, that's kind of a difficult one. Best advice: enjoy every day like it's your last. I just think that life in and of itself is so precious, and my time as doing work in the homicide unit, if there's one thing that I took away, was that how quickly life can disappear and how much it affects the people around them. And I think that that has a large, I would say, role in kind of shaping me into the person that I am now. And I just like I said, I don't think you should lose a day, as crazy as that sounds. There's always going to be people who tell you you can't do something, you can't accomplish something. You got to block that out. You got to block that out and do what you're passionate about. I've had so many people in my life tell me I can't do this or you can't do this, or they put limitations on you. It's one of the things that I've always passed along to my kids is don't let anybody put a limitation on you of what you can or can't do in life. Hobbies. That's kind of an easy one. I've pretty much had the same hobbies my entire life, and it's obviously surfing. I enjoy CrossFit and working out. I truly enjoy the mountains with snow skiing. And I would say, like, most of all, like, I would have to say coaching. Like, I think it's just important. If you donate your time to help others accomplish their goals with coaching, I just think that you get such an enormous reward from it, and just to watch them grow. Like I said, I started coaching late in high school, and even after college, I just kept with it, and I just find it very rewarding to help people, mentor people, and I just think it also keeps me grounded. What kind of question is that one?
You gotta ask the hard questions sometimes.
All right, obviously I have a face for radio. so the scar on my head comes back to, I guess it's been about a year and a half now. I was surfing, it was spring surfing, and it was a nice day. I was on a longboard, 3 foot waves, nice rollers, clean, but there was a ton of people out. We were at 5th Street Jetty in Ocean City. And I remember it was coming to the end of the session, and I took one wave in, fell, and when I looked up, some guy couldn't control his board, and the board just went wild. All I remember was the fin literally filleted me. Am I allowed to look at the camera?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
The fin, I don't know if you can see that, the fin literally filleted me open. But thankfully no stitches. I did the right thing. I actually posted it on Facebook. So yeah, thankfully it could have been a lot worse. But when you have a face for radio, that's what happens. If there's one thing I could do for a dream vacation, I would love, and mind you, my idea of vacation isn't sitting in the sun and doing all that, because we get to do that all the time.
Exactly.
So my idea of a vacation is more like, I would love to whitewater raft and camp along the Grand Canyon. Really enjoyed my time of being out west in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and just whitewater rafting and doing the fly fishing and all that. And I would say, as a bucket list, that's definitely one of my trips. My favorite trip is backcountry snowmobiling. I think relating back to my family's place out in right outside of Jackson Hole, Wyoming, one of the best trips I think that we ever did was, as a family, like, go backcountry and pretty much go hut to hut snowmobiling. When you're out there, like, you just feel free. Like, you feel like nobody's ever been there before, like some of the places that you go. If there's one thing that I definitely can do better, it's kind of manage my time. Like, I always said, like, my personality is a go personality. Like, I never want to lose a minute, and I've always believed there's 24 hours in a day, and of that I only need 6 to 8 to sleep, and the rest of it I try to go. So
now, what is your favorite restaurant to go to, on your night out on the town, or when you're taking your family out?
Locally, Steve and Cookies. Traveling a little bit would be Fogo de Chao. I love the meats. I was doing construction in our family's business, and we took some risks and left, like, the southern New Jersey area and entered the Manhattan, New York market. I used to work 4 days a week as a detective, and in Camden, and then I would literally come home from working nights, 5 in the morning, hop in the van, and we would drive to Manhattan, where it was freezing. It was just cold. The wind was whipping, and if you've ever been on them buildings when you're 12, 15 stories up, the wind howls. And their construction elevator attached to the outside of the building. I remember watching these guys coming up in suits and hard hats, and I remember thinking, wow, they're doing it so much better than me. I knew what I wanted to do. Like I said, I'd been investing in real estate. I've been in construction, and I knew I wanted to be a real estate agent. There was no better place for me to do it than here at the Jersey Shore. Like, this is my passion. Like, this is my calling. Like, I think that you have to be passionate about things in life, and this is it. I'm lucky that I found something that I can be truly passionate about, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. I'm grateful for that time in the family business, but yeah, this is home.